every time I would be writing on my break, I would write on a check and I would just take a picture of it. And I have like hundreds of these. So this is maybe like 100. I have like enough for like 2 more volumes.
Wow.
So as soon as we sell through this one, I'll do another one where it's not just checks, but it's also like portraits of people that work in restaurants from all over. So like there's a lot of juice to people.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Line Check Podcast. It's me, Brennan Villarreal, as always, your host. And today I'm in the studio with George, owner of Para Llevar Mag or Zine.
Magazine,
yeah, basically it's kind of does the same thing that I'm doing, but in paperback form. And it's really cool. He highlights hospitality industry professionals and then makes a zine out of them. And each volume is for the restaurant that it's located at in a different state. And so this one, the first episode was Justa in Venice, where you worked at. That's what you told me. So it's really fun to have you on the podcast today, and I'm really excited to talk to you about it because it's cool to see something very similar to what I'm doing, but in a different form, and just talking about the people behind the food and the person that takes your order, or the person at the cashier, or the owner, any of them. It's cool to see what you're doing, and I'm excited to talk to you.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm ready.
Let's start off. How's your day today?
Today was good. I was gonna go surfing, but there was no waves.
A fellow surfer, I surf as well.
Really?
Yeah, but it's been a while just because I haven't had the just can't wake up in the morning like I used to.
Well, the waves have sucked, so you haven't missed out. Then what else do I do? I also do construction in the mornings.
Wow, you do a lot.
Yeah, so I was over at some of the properties, like taking measurements and things like that. And then I came home, worked on some spreads for so our next issue is in San Francisco. We're doing like a double issue of like 2 sister restaurants.
There's so many good places in in SF.
So many good places. It's crazy. Yeah, we're doing this place called Flower and Water, and their sister location, Penny Roma. They're like right down the street from one another. And then I just started putting some spreads together for our Mexico City issue, which is exciting.
I just went to Mexico City in October, November-ish, and it was so much fun.
It's one of the sickest cities out there.
The food scene in Mexico City is insane. I really wanted to just move there right after that, and I didn't want to go home. I ate at the same restaurant twice, which was Campo Baja. It's a seafood Mariscos restaurant. It was just phenomenal. I think I ordered the entire menu. But yeah, it's just beautiful. It's green. So everyone's super nice. People are beautiful. Food is beautiful.
It's a pretty city too.
Yeah, loved it. I really want to go back.
You get your mezcal fix?
Oh, I sure. Yeah. I drank a lot of mezcal and I ate a lot. I definitely indulged, and that's what you're supposed to do when you go on vacation.
Exactly, dude. I mean, we were down there last time because we have a cinematographer that works with us. He only shoots on his old Bolex.
Oh, cool.
Film, 60 millimeter film camera, and we shot some stuff down there. And we went to this restaurant called Taverna. It's in Juarez, I think. Great food, amazing space. If you ever go back, you gotta check it out. But we had a mezcal that I've had mezcal before, right? But this mezcal was, I don't know, man. It was he had it first. I was drinking a cocktail, so I was like, "Hey, you got to try this mezcal." And he's not even a big drinker, but I got one myself, and it was this weird thing where it didn't feel like drinking. It felt like you were awake and alive, and it was a very slight smoke, just a hint, you could almost taste the plant of the agave, but you were up.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the rest of the time we were down there, we were just trying, because we didn't ask for we should have asked to look at the bottle to see what bottle it was. We knew the maker, and it was Siete Misteriosos, and it was an Espadín, but they make I didn't know this, that they make like 7 or 8 espadines, and we went to like 3 other places and tried them, and we just couldn't like. I felt like an addict, dude. It was
I
crazy.
mean, yeah, I've had really interesting spirits before,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of different mezcals that I've had that are just like there's like something about it where it's like nothing you've ever tasted before.
Yeah.
And it's just like the layers of
Mm-hmm.
depth that are in it from like the beginning to the middle to the end to the very very end, like where it's like right here or right
Mm-hmm.
there, and I'm saying chest and throat if you're not watching this. But yeah, it's just yeah, I'm not a big drinker, but I do appreciate good spirit like that.
Yeah.
So how did this all start? Like, what gave you inspiration to start this magazine?
Well, funny enough, it started while I was working at Justa in Venice.
Juice is excellent, by the way.
Oh my god, I
It's
just
so
went back
good.
the other day and I was like, it's
Um,
still so good.
when I was last there, we saw Ginny Weasley from Harry Potter.
Dude, I worked there for 6 years. She would come in at least like 3 times a week.
So I was
It was
there on the
insane.
third time of
Yeah.
week. Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Hey, Ginny Weasley."
Dude,
She looks the same. She looks
yeah,
exactly the same.
so many stars would like so many famous people came in there though, and it was funny growing up in LA. You kind of like, and I worked at a surf shop too, and you would have famous
You
people
see
come
it
in,
all the time. Yeah.
and you're like, okay, just like, well, just be cool, man. But there'd be like, especially at Juice, so there's like kids that moved out from whatever, like maybe Arizona
Yeah, and
or
they're
like
trying to be an actor.
not even that, but they just like they'd get starstruck, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, just don't
Yeah.
ruin
Oh,
this for them.
like a someone you work with.
Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh my god, that's like Timothy Chalamet or
Yeah,
something, and you're like,
yeah.
no, please, just shh, calm down.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. There's been famous people that come into the restaurants that I've worked in, and I think in the moment when you know they're on the reservation list, you're like, oh my god, this person's coming in. But as soon as they walk in the door and then they're sitting there for like a couple minutes, you're like, all right, they're this
just a
normal person now.
dude. Yeah, no, and
I'm
that's how
kind
it
of
should
over it.
be. And they
Yeah.
kind of, I feel like
Yeah.
when they come in, they appreciate a place where
Mhm.
no one's gonna be like giving them the googly eyes and like. I don't know. It was funny though. I was like, you got to get out. I would
Yeah.
be telling like coworkers, I was a shift lead for a while, so I was kind of like running.
Yeah.
I was like a floor manager basically, and sometimes there would be like some people that would get starstruck, and I'd be like, okay, you're gonna take a 10, you're gonna hang out
Here's the
outside.
bag.
Yeah, yeah. Just breathe.
Yeah.
Just huff some glue here,
Yeah.
and you'll be okay.
I have a funny story when it was at La Cita
Mm-hmm.
and Elijah Wood, that no one knows who that is, Lord of
It's
the
fucking
Rings,
Frodo,
Frodo.
dude. Yeah.
We were like doing our pre-shift service, and we're like standing there, and then all of a sudden, like Elijah Wood pops his head, and he's like, "You guys open yet?" And we're like, "No, we don't open for like 15 minutes." And then he like leaves, he's like, "Okay," and then we're like, was that fucking Elijah Wood that just popped
Yeah.
his head in? We're like, yeah, that was Elijah Wood. And then he came back. It was like his wife's birthday. He's with his kids.
Oh my god.
And he was like super fucking nice, super down the earth.
yeah.
Like, and it was just like, it was normal now. Like, he was a normal person. It was just like that in that moment, like, just stunned us. Like, he just, whoa, Elijah Wood, okay.
Yeah,
And
after the
then-
initial shock, it's just
yeah.
like, okay, just like
And then now he's here.
These
he's
are people
eating
too,
food.
yeah.
We just fed him. He's having a good time. We're having a good time. He's a normal
Exactly.
person, just
Yeah.
like everybody else.
It's kind of like the reverse idea of the magazine, where it's like there's these people that are serving you, and so often when we're sitting at a table, we see these people and they're bringing us drinks. And they're like, okay, this is our server, whatever. But like, they're also just normal people. They like so much of these magazines is artists and like musicians, like there's painters, writers, so many different people that work in these restaurants. And the whole point of it really was to kind of put a life behind the face that you see every day, you know, which I feel like is missing
Making
sometimes.
us the rock stars.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
and maybe that's what Elijah Wood wants. He wants the servers, the cooks,
yeah,
to be the rock stars, to give him a good time for his wife's birthday.
exactly, dude.
And I think people don't understand that.
It's a
lot,
performance.
you know what I mean? But disrespecting servers or just like looking at them like not like a person, because
Yeah.
we are people.
Or being like, "Oh, this is so hard." It's
Acknowledging,
like, dude,
yeah,
being a server is pretty
yeah.
fucking hard, man. It's not.
I've never been, but I know it's
Oh,
hard.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the kitchen, huh?
Yeah, I'm in the kitchen. I mean, I know it's hard. That's why I don't want to go in
Yeah,
be a
right?
server.
No, I've
That's why
like
I'm back
I
there.
shifted to expo. Now I'm kind of like, I'm good on serving, dude. I'll just stay back here and like move things around.
Oh yeah, and also he works in the restaurant.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so besides like surfing and doing the magazine and then also construction, he's also
And then a
working.
couple nights I like get back
Yeah.
in the kitchen at night market and make sure all the orders come out on time.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, you got the inspiration to start this just by people not being noticed in hospitality industry.
Well, yeah, base kind of,
You just
yeah.
kind of wanted
It
to
really
showcase them.
started when I was at Juice on my breaks. I would take, because we actually still took orders on guest checks, so we would have these in our pockets, and then I would just go and be just jacked up on like 2 cups of coffee, and they brew it strong.
Yeah.
And like you get there at 6 and you work in a morning shift, so it's strong coffee. And I would just write random stuff and fill a page of guest checks, maybe a couple pages. And eventually it came to be a thing of like, I wanted to make this book of just guest checks. And the thought arose of, well, what are all these other people doing here at this restaurant? I bet they're doing cool shit too. And I just gotten a design degree in print publication. And I kind of was like, all right, well, Brenner's a musician. Chris writes poetry on typewriters. Lauren's a painter. Greg in the kitchen is an old salty French dude who loves motorcycles, and he had some great stories. And we just kind of snowballed from there. And it's crazy that it took me so long to make the Check Please book, because that's originally what it was going to be, and it turned into something much more, I'd say. Yeah,
It's awesome though.
much more
I mean,
fulfilling. Yeah.
I think got an article on us recently, and there's someone that I shouted out on there, and it was was working in downtown LA at this hotel, and this guy that I cooked with, he's from Chicago. He moved to LA. I forgot the reason why, but lived in like a loft, very very small, by himself. He only had a bicycle, no car, no TV, just like a simple living space.
Yeah.
And then he always journaled and wrote poetry. But he was like the hardest looking guy ever. Like he had a fucking like mustache, shaved head, tattoos, and we called him Juice. His name's Uncle Juice.
Uncle Juice, dude.
Yeah. And every break, smoke cigarettes in the freaking dirty ass alley in downtown LA. And then we write poetry, and then he asked me if like what I wrote, and then he would tell me what he wrote. And it's like this guy looks so hard, and he's such a badass in the kitchen that you would never expect this guy to like just ride bicycles and write poetry. And it's kind of like in the same sense of, you know, you got interesting people in the industry that not just, you know, cook or serve or bartend, but they have other lives and other hobbies, and it's cool to highlight that.
Exactly, man. Yeah. Like the number of musicians.
Oh, there's a lot of musicians.
There's a lot of musicians in restaurants. Like Naomi, like we were talking about earlier.
Badass singer.
Badass singer in like this amazing, basically straight out of the 70s, like classic rock band.
Like Led Zeppelin.
And like amazing performances where like you just want to, you know how some performances you're kind of just there and you're just like, oh, okay. But some of them, they kind of like wake up something inside you.
Yeah.
It's one of those performances, you know?
It'd be cool to, like, if Naomi was serving and then the guest, like, talked or knew that she was a badass singer and was like, hey, after I serve you this dinner, you're coming with me to my show. And they're like, okay. And then found out that she was that good. It'd be like a reverse, like, holy shit.
I think she's done that, actually.
That's crazy. I'm sure she has. She's a very, she has a way.
She lets it be known.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like cool like that, you know, everyone has their own thing. They're not just a server. They're not just someone just writing down your order.
Exactly,
you know,
man.
Like, again, we're human beings.
I mean, there's a reason they're in this industry, is because it gives you a unique opportunity to carve out space for yourself during the day when you are trying to be more creative. Because at nighttime, it's like the I like to compare life to a knife,
Yeah.
and like at nighttime, the blade's gonna be dull.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of freedom around like front of house work,
Oh yeah,
flexible schedules to allow you to do your other extracurricular things. You know what I'm trying to say.
yeah, yeah. No, exactly.
But except for like cooking, you're there like
You're there all day,
all
huh?
day and like full time. We
That's
don't have
nuts.
flexible hours, but maybe the tide is changing for that. With the culture shift right now
Is
in
it
culinary. Yeah, some places. I have a friend and their cooks don't work that much, and then they have a
salaries?
higher salary,
That's
and then they
good.
also get tips, and then it's like an equal balance between back of house and front of house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a smaller place, so maybe that's also why. But like, there's places like that are doing cool shit. So like, there is change, and hopefully more restaurant owners or corporate places, maybe not, but we'll take place to that. Um, so let's talk about like the volumes and the stories behind those guys.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, each one came about pretty serendipitously. So I wrapped up the first issue on Justa in 2019 was when it came out, right before COVID, which wasn't the best time to start a magazine, looking back. And then COVID hit. And I wasn't even sure if I was gonna do another issue. I had a couple of false starts in LA. Like I almost did one with Howlin' Rays,
Whoa,
like right down
cool.
the
Yeah,
street
yeah,
from you
yeah.
guys, and that kind of just puttered out. We never really got it off the ground. And then I almost did one with Squirrel, and they kind of just pulled the rug out of that one. And I'm kind of glad I didn't
Yeah.
actually do that one looking back, because they
Yeah.
kind of got some.
You're like, here's the jam.
Yeah, here's our world famous jam. Yeah,
Ah, crazy
because it was
stories.
really, yeah, originally it was just gonna be like an LA magazine,
Yeah.
and kind of when COVID hit, I was trying to get the magazine, because I do basically I make the magazine, I design it, I write what I can. It's a lot of like transcribing interviews. Um, and then after that, I get it printed. I go through the printing process and like proofs and stuff. And then after that, I'm the sales guy too. So I'm like
Wow.
calling up bookstores. I did like a cross country sales trip one year, like 2 years ago, and just like got in my mom's van, bunch of books in the back, and just drove across country and stopped at every bookstore I could
That's
find.
awesome. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
and that was fun. But
I got a bookstore for you after this here in Long Beach.
really,
Yeah.
hell yeah, dude.
He'd be 100% down to have you in there.
I always need more vendors,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. But during COVID, I reached out to this, or actually they reached out to me, this little restaurant in upstate New York in Passaic, Dutchess County, and they started a newsstand during COVID. And they were just reaching out to like independent magazines, and they reached out to me to carry the Juice issue. And then I reached back out to them to see if they were interested in doing an issue on their restaurant, which they did, which was amazing. I loved it. And then after that, again, like a manager I was working with at Justa introduced me to a chef who had also worked at Justa serendipitously before I'd worked there, and then had worked in Paris, New York, and before opening her own restaurant in Nashville.
Cool.
So we did an issue on her restaurant Lou in Nashville. And then we did one on the manager that introduced me to her, because she and her husband moved out to Charleston to start a restaurant called Vern's, and they're doing gang, but it's a beautiful restaurant. If you're ever in Charleston, check it out.
I've heard that a lot of good stuff is happening over there.
Charleston? Oh yeah, dude. It's
on
pretty.
the south over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a friend that I used to work with that is from around there, and like I've heard like a lot of good stuff.
A lot of cool wine
You
bars.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like Sean Brock, chef.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's from there.
Yeah, he's from like around there, and I've always known there's been like cool places happening over there, and just I really want to go travel more in the States. There's a lot
Yeah.
of it's so different, like every state that you go to. I mean, farthest I've ever been is Louisiana.
Are you from here?
Yeah, I'm from
Oh,
California.
nice.
I've
Okay.
traveled everywhere. Just farthest is Louisiana. I mean, there's
Yeah.
like it's just cool to go to every different state and just like see how different it is from California or just
It's
Long
pretty
Beach
crazy, dude.
and
Yeah.
the food scene and how it's different. Yeah,
It's definitely worth a road trip. I'll say
yeah,
that.
yeah. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to like every month. Okay, let me be realistic. If I had more money, like or more time too, like every month, pick a flight that's just like randomly going to any state, like
Oh
a cheap
yeah.
flight, and just like pick it and then go there for like your 2 days off, and then just like dine at some restaurant that you find that's like maybe like the coolest
Dude,
or
so many good
uh,
spots.
yeah, and just like do that, and I'm 100% sure that you're gonna learn something and get some good R&D, not
Hmm.
just from the food, but from like the people and the culture and like how different it is.
You're gonna have crazy jet lag,
Yeah,
but you're gonna
exactly. Yeah,
but you're gonna have a good
it
time,
just
dude. I'll tell
sounds
you that.
fun. Yeah, I mean, I had such a great time when I went to New Orleans.
Hmm.
That's one of the last places I've been to where I was like, damn, this is tight. Like
Yeah, it's a
even the hole in the wall is not just like going to
oh yeah, there's
like
just
a
like jazz everywhere,
yeah,
dude.
jazz and
Yeah.
drinking on the streets.
Yeah. I got pretty drunk in New Orleans, tell you that.
Yeah.
Like on the water too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That spot's cool.
It was sick.
Um, yeah. So the magazine and then doing the different restaurants after that,
Hmm.
and then you came out with the check please after. And
Yeah, we figured.
how long did this take to make? Was this like a culmination of like years and years of different checks or
Well, so this is actually all the checks are from my time at Justa, and
okay?
it's literally every time I would be writing on my break, I would write on a check and I would just take a picture of it.
Mm,
And I have like hundreds of these. So this is maybe like 100. I have like enough for like 2 more volumes.
wow.
So as soon as we sell through this one, I'll do another one where it's not just checks, but it's also like portraits of people that work
Yeah.
in restaurants from all over. So like there's a lot of Justa people.
Whoa, that guy looks so familiar.
Josh?
Okay, I thought that
Josh
was
is one
my
of my
other friend.
homies, dude. No, he's a
he,
real one.
he has the same mustache, the same facial hair,
It's a
same
popular mess.
earring.
He worked
Yeah.
at Standings for a while,
Oh,
and
okay,
now he
cool.
works at Japanese Knife Imports
Oh, cool.
in Beverly Hills, and he like sharpens knives and like makes
Oh,
knives and stuff. But the chapbook's kind of a thing that we can kind of bring people from all over the place and not just one restaurant.
yeah. So where do you see like what's your next move going with this?
Next moves is well, Mexico City is a big step where
Hmm.
we kind of want to take it international and kind of dive more into like Latin America, South America,
Hmm.
especially with the name,
Yeah.
and like start doing.
What is I mean,
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
what Para Llevar
So for
means.
those that you
Yeah.
don't know, Para Llevar, it's for takeaway in
Yeah.
Spanish. It's if you work in restaurants, you definitely know
Yeah.
what it means
I
because
say para aquí.
yeah, para aquí o
He's
para
like
llevar. ¿Qué quieres?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially on Expo. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first restaurant I ever worked in was a Mexican fast casual restaurant, and I was like the only white guy in there, like 21.
In the kitchen.
Yeah, 21 years
Oh
old.
shit.
And they all gave me like a super hard time.
Yeah. El
I
gringo, huh?
started as a dishwasher, and then they would like kind of haze me a little bit, but then when I like proved myself, it's like it's
Mhm.
time. And then
How's your Spanish?
it's bad now, but it was really good back then. The last restaurant that I worked at, Lasita, like there's this probably one of the first kitchens I ever worked in where there's like no Mexicans.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's funny. Night market, all Mexican.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, at least the Venice location.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm for sure the original one in West Hollywood on Sunset is like all like old Thai women still.
That's tight.
Yeah.
That's hella
No, it's
tight.
still OG over there, but like all the satellite ones.
Yeah.
You got your Oaxacans, your
Gotta
Guatemalans
love
in
'em, though,
there.
man. They work hard. Yeah,
Dude,
shout out. They hold it down.
they're so strong too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dishwasher though at Lasita, he's a homie. He has the same birthday as me.
No
His name
shit.
is Manny. He's like 60 years old, and he works 2 jobs.
Yeah.
He cooks at this like breakfast spot with like pancakes, French toast, classic spot in LA, and then he goes to Lasita at night and dishwashes.
Damn.
And he has like one day off. I think it's a Monday. I'm pretty sure it's a Monday. Yeah, it's a Monday. And he's a fucking beast. He holds down all the time. And then
Yeah,
he's
dude.
like, he'll like be dishwashing, and he's like, "Hey, Brennan," he's like, or he calls me Guero.
Hey,
He's,
Guero.
yeah, he's like, Guero, come on, like, look at me. You know who I am.
Yeah.
He's like, remember who I am. I was like, okay, because, you know, he's holding shit down all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Those back of house fools,
He's like, who you working with, Brennan?
especially at Juice, they were all working 2 jobs, but like full-time 2 jobs.
It's really sad that is like what's needed to like survive.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
It's dumb that's like a normal way of living here in
There's this guy at Juice. I remember his name was Whisper, and he looked like he probably had killed some fools, but he was the nicest guy. But he worked 3 jobs, which I was like, I don't even know how you do that, dude.
How are you alive right now?
Because I worked when I started at Juice, I was working at a hotel at night and working the morning shift at Juice. So I'd work 4 to midnight at this hotel, and I actually got tons of writing done. I wrote so much because before these magazines, I wrote like travel memoirs and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I would come. I 4 to midnight at the hotel on the boardwalk in Venice, and then I'd go to sleep and work 6 to 2 at Justa. And it was insane, dude. I'd have like these floating spots in my vision, bro. It was nuts.
Your brain's like melting.
Exactly.
Like, kind of churning. Kind of looks like a slushy machine where you see it like swirling.
Bro,
and
you don't even.
It's going in like that slow, weird mode. And
yeah,
like
and honestly, probably writing on the guest checks is what kept me sane. I was probably just like, you get such this like that feeling of you know, that you just need to like just let it all out, and it just came out.
Yeah.
In the writing, I guess. But yeah, man. So I have just mad respect for those fools that hold down 2 jobs, dude. Because I was working a hotel and a restaurant. These guys are doing 2 restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do it when I was 25 or something like that. I was younger.
Same.
I was younger.
Yeah, I was younger too.
I worked freaking prep shift in the morning at like 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then I drive to LA and then do like a dinner shift.
Fuck that.
And then
dude.
from
That's
like whatever 3 to like, and then I get off like at 11 midnight, whatever. And I did that for no day off. And then I did pop-ups as well on the weekends and for breakfast. So I like worked Monday through Friday doing AM shift to PM shift, and then weekend do 2 brunch pop-ups, and then dinner shift at nighttime.
So we're in 7 days a week like that.
Yeah, for a whole summer.
God damn.
I don't know why I did that. That was crazy though.
But it's crazy.
I can't do it anymore.
No, there's no way. But it's crazy when you look back. It's like the. I remember thinking in the moment, it was like, okay, now I know how hard the most I can work, because this is it. Like, I can't do more than this, or I'll fucking go crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I'm at my max capacity, and today I was actually it was like a moment where I've been juggling a lot of stuff that I'm doing right now. As a freelance chef and doing events and all that, and then also the podcast. And then helping out the series over at Rose Park Roasters, where do the weekly Sunday pop-ups. So there's a lot of juggling of communication.
Oh yeah,
and emailing, and that's something I'm getting used to instead of just having to like clock in and cook for 8 hours and not have to like think about anything.
Yeah, it's almost easier that way.
It is easier.
Yeah, because
so now I'm
once emails are involved.
Yeah. I need to get myself a computer. If anyone wants to buy me a MacBook, that'd be nice, because I'm doing everything off my phone.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So just doing that and then like have to respond to everything. So I had a catering order this morning.
Yeah.
I got like a DM to do it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Let's email instead though, because this will be more professional, like specifically what you want, how much I'm gonna charge you for it. So blah blah, yeah, we're good to go. Price is good, catering cool. Thursday, all right, let's go. Was running around LA yesterday. Went to the Santa Monica Farmers Market. Then I went to Chef Toys to get some stuff. Went home, had to go back to LA Chinatown to go to Laxi, which is like a whole a Thai whole sell place, kind of like an Asian Costco.
Oh, really?
And they just have certain ingredients that I need that I can't really get anywhere else. So I went there.
That's good to know.
And then came back home to Long Beach. So I was driving since like 6 in the morning to like 4 p.m. And then came home, blah, 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 prepped my stuff, got to catering the next day in the morning, like banged it out. I got 10 minutes today to like finish this catering order for 60 people, by the way. And then I was like, cool.
Just you.
Yeah, it was just, I do everything by myself. So I finished it, boom, boom, boom. Drove to the drop off point, got there. I was like, hey, what's up? I got 2, trays. I got more trays in the car. I'm gonna be back. He's like, hey, Brennan, how's it going? I was like, hey. I'm like, yeah, it's here. And he's like, this wasn't for today. And I was like,
Get the
oh.
fuck out.
I was like,
my
I was like,
God.
really? And he's like, yeah. And I thought he's fucking with me. And I was like, and my brain was just like on go mode that I'm just like can't slow down. And then he's like, no, it is. It says. I'm like, oh shit. So I was like scrolling my freaking phone, and then it says like, oh yeah, it's in 2 weeks. I was like,
Was your week off? No way.
and then
dude.
I was like, I just did all this driving, all this prep when I could have done other things.
Oh my God.
And then so I dropped the ball right there, and then yeah, I was like, fuck, I fucked up. And then you know what? But like my food cost was pretty good. But I used a lot of labor and time for that.
Yeah.
And I felt
What'd you do with the food?
I donated it to the Long Beach Rescue Mission. And you know what? There was the downside of me fucking up, but I felt better when I gave it away to people in need, and everyone was super stoked to get some like. I said I made Filipino food, but they're like, I love Thai food. After I told them Filipino food, and I thought that was funny. And then one of the volunteers was like, "You look like a master chef." I was like, I don't know, but
Yeah, I just
I
messed
was
up
like,
this order by 2 weeks.
I was like, thanks, guys. Like, I'm glad you guys you get something, and,
Yeah.
people probably never like ate this food or the quality of food that I made, and,
Especially, yeah,
and
that's
people
true.
in need. So I was like super excited to just like give that to them, and something they would never get like just in an ordinary day. So
And you like served them, and you saw them.
I just dropped everything off. I
Oh,
said
yeah.
hello to all the volunteers
Yeah.
there and stuff, and they're all super excited.
Nice.
So it's a learning moment for myself, but
Mhm.
also like I felt good about myself, and maybe I should go volunteer there sometime. But yeah, that's my story.
I bet you'll never do that again.
No, I'm never gonna do that again. I'm gonna confirm dates and times now all the
Yeah,
time.
triple check.
He's probably the person that hired me is probably gonna listen to this podcast
And be like, oh my God, dude.
but he already knows. I said sorry.
That's kind of
I take all the blame. I'm not gonna be like, hey, it's because you didn't. No, I'd never be like that.
Yeah.
About being a good restaurant owner or a good chef is being vulnerable and admitting to your faults, and you can't always be right, and it's okay. You gotta win. You're gonna lose a lot of days, and
taking it with grace.
Yeah,
is like the
exactly.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like you gotta work in restaurants.
Don't let it fall on anyone else except for yourself, but also like take it with pride and use it as a learning tool.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do. Like I'm not gonna like let it kill me that I just wasted 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
There's another day.
Yeah.
But it was really fun to have you on the podcast.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm really excited to check these out and read them.
Of course, yeah, these are for you, man.
Following each other for a while and like little like
like
you there, and but yeah, make sure you guys all follow Para Llevar on Instagram. Check them out, and then I'm gonna link you up with a bookstore that I would probably be down to have you.
Hell yeah, dude.
So do that and have a good day, and don't fuck up like me. Just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, bye.